Sup guys, this is Peter here and you are watching another Guild Wars 1 video. This time we take a look at another Mesmer build, the Psychic Instability Wastrel Spiker. Forget about Energy Surge or Panic, because this elite can be stronger than those if you use it well. Psychic Instability, or just P in short, is an interrupt, but a very special one, because if you successfully interrupt any of your target's skills, you cause a 4-second long AoE knockdown. You may say, yeah, it's not a big deal, but trust me, if your enemies lay on the ground for 4 seconds, you can do huge spikes on them. That's when the two Wastrel skills, Wastrel's Demise and Wastrel's Worry, comes in handy. Anyway, the elite has a somewhat long recharge time, 12 seconds, but with Serpent's quickness and the high rank of fast casting, you can reduce the recharge time to around 5 seconds, meaning if you time your interrupts well, there is only 1 or 2 seconds when your target and all fools around your target may stand up. Remember guys, a knockdown is one if not the best ways to completely shut down your enemies. So we have P, the two Wastrel skills, the Woven Stability and Serpent's Quickness. These 5 skills are mandatory, but the rest is somewhat optional. I choose Cry of Frustration because this is a great way to interrupt the whole enemy group again when they stand up. Then we have Unnatural Signet. It's just a no energy cost damage skill with some more AoE damage. And Mistrust is another great way to control your target. Basically, when your target stands up, it will attempt to cast a spell, but we can stop that very easily with this hex. Alright, let's see what you will need. This is my setup, 16 domination magic. We must max this out for max DPS. Then we have 12 fast casting and 6 wilderness survival. The 12 fast casting is a must have because at rank 11 you only get a 3-sec long knockdown, so we must reach the threshold of rank 12 to get the maximum 4-sec duration. Anyway, weapons are simple, 40/40 domination set, or you might consider using a necro-modded focus, but in this case you will sacrifice one of your half skill recharge mods. It's up to you, but the build is quite energy heavy, so a beep necro is needed anyway. Runes are Domination Magic +1/+3 on the headpiece, Fast Casting +1, Vigor of your choice, 5 Prodigy Insignias and 2 Attunement or Vitae runes depending on what you want, more energy or more HP. Okay, now let me explain how to use the build. The first example is a full coaster group, probably our easiest opponent. Obviously it's way easier to interrupt a coaster than a martial class, and these 3 frigid skills are somewhat close to each other, giving us a perfect chance for P shenanigans. So one of the best tips I can give you about this P build is to always think of what skills your enemies will use. Obviously this comes with a lot of practice and hours spent in the game, hence why I never really recommend the Mesmer class for beginners, but if you remember the basics, so at least that if your target is a caster or not, you will have a much better success ratio. Now I know that the frigid skills are casters and they will start using spells, so I can prepare for the interrupt in advance. P is done, now I have 4 seconds to use Wastrel's Demise and Wastrel's Worry. Now as I see the build, probably a good idea to start with Wastrel's Demise, because that one is a 5-sec long hex and the other one is only 3 seconds long. Okay, let's use them both. You can even press the tabulator key and use Wastrels on another target if you are really fast. Okay, they will stand up now. Let's use Mistrust to stop the target's next spell and deal even more damage. In the meanwhile, P has already recharged, so we can use it again and repeat the process. And basically that's how to use the build. Of course, if there are melees and other range classes too, it's quite tough to interrupt them, especially in hard mode due to their fast attacking speed. Casters, healers should always be your priority and keep the martial classes for last. There are not many things that can weaken this build, maybe other Mesmers are the only way to ruin the effectiveness, and you will be using spells quite fast due to the high rank of fast casting, but Mesmers in hard mode are no joke, they can be even faster than us. So yeah, probably that's the only way to neutralize this build and the general anti-coaster stuff like this condition. Okay, now some hero builds for quality of life improvement. Number 1 is the ever mentioned Beep Necro. Like I said, this is a very energy heavy build, and even with a Necro modded wand in your hands, you are going to rely a lot on the Beep Necro. They are our bread and butter. There is another hero that I really like to bring with me when playing this build, the Roy Monk. You know, the biggest issue with Roy is the scattering and that heroes use it quite badly. Well, guess what? With the 4-sec long knockdown, Roy monks can shine brighter than ever. Roy and P is a powerful combination. Okay, another tip you may not know, but some enemies have resistance to knockdowns, meaning normally you can't knock them down with P, but if you add Earthbind to your Soul Twisting Ritu, for example, you can even knock down Shiro and all the knockdown resistant fools. And there is another thing that I wanted to mention here, and that's the E-Surge Mesmers. So normally E-Surge Mesmers have no or only positive effect on the player builds. Well, guess what? This time it can be negative too. I mean, you are supposed to be the main interrupter in the group. Chances are sometimes heroes will interrupt faster than you, and this has actually happened to me a few times while recording this video. So you can recognize this after successfully using the elite on the target and no knockdown happened. This is because your heroes interrupted the same target faster than you did. In this case, you have to wait for another P and maybe consider adding only a few interrupts to your Mesmer heroes to prevent this, and maybe only Cry of Frustration. Okay, some variants of the build. If you really want to use Psychic Instability as many times as possible, consider using Arcane Echo. I didn't include this in my basic build because this will make the build even more energy heavy, but this is a great way to counter knockdown whole groups. The best example is the Margonite farm. You can kill big groups of enemies without taking damage. If your interrupts are perfectly timed, they can't even use skills for 12 seconds or even more. As long as Arcane Echo lasts and you have 2 elites, you can keep them on the ground. Chaos Storm might be another good skill. Some players hate it because of the enemy scattering, but personally I like it. It has great AoE damage. You can also try Empathy instead of Unnatural Signet, for example, because melees can be annoying with their fast skill activation time. It's hard to interrupt their attacking skills with P, but Empathy can help dealing with them. Even consider Diversion. If there is a boss or something that spams skill all the time, you can basically disable one of their key skills with that. Alright, that's all I've got for you today. P is easily meta category, highly recommended for those who are somewhat experienced with the Mesmer class and are bored of Energy Surge. And you know, it's not just the great damage and coaster shutdown, but also a whole new game style. Anyway, hope you like this vid, subscribe if you haven't, maybe give this video a thumbs up, and see you in the next video.